removal from office by way of impeachment of the governor of Wajir County. I take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker,
Order, senators. There is a way we ask even for a point of order. You are not on record. You're just walking around and saying point of order. Senator Malala, this is when you have pressed, and you know you're assuming I'm going to allow it. Okay, Senator Malala.
Speaker, are you allowing?
Mr. Speaker, is the leader of majority in order, Mr. Speaker, to move a motion which has got no names and expect us to make a decision? I thought the membership of that committee would guide us as to whether we are going to vote for committee or plenary. So I would like to request him, Mr. Speaker, that...
That's a point of argument.
And I think, Mr. Speaker, he's out of order, because when you bring a motion here, that motion must have all the details, Mr. Speaker, so that we know what we are voting for.
Order, senators. I think it is important to listen. Order, senators. Okay. Order, senators. I think it's important going forward that we listen to what a senator is moving or saying. The leader of majority had just explained why that, and I'm sure Senator Malala was not listening. So then you stand up to ask the same thing that he has already explained. So I want to ask that let's listen to each other, so that when you stand to ask on a point of order, you speak from a point of knowledge. Leader, proceed. I'm aware, but he said it. Why they are not there?
Mr. Speaker, you know, Mr. Speaker, Senator Malala has just recently retired from the House Business Committee. And that informs how he wants to fit wherever he has gone. Mr. Speaker, I just want to appeal to members that we have, as I said, a decision to make. And the decision is whether we are going plenary or committee. If we approve it as committee, we just come up with the names. We have seen before, Mr. Speaker, that names do prejudice people and decisions. So let's make sure that we first of all agree if it is plenary or committee. And that's why we are saying let's move in this direction. Speaker, this is not a time when we need to say so many words. I just want to appeal to members that the process of impeachment begins now. It begins, Mr. Speaker, from the time that the Speaker reads the charges and then moves on to how we go about to investigate it. And Speaker, the choice is upon this House. And the ultimate destiny of this senator, of this governor, Mr. Speaker, is in the hands of the House. And so it's up to us to begin the process now. As we begin, and we move in whichever direction, Mr. Speaker, we are appealing to members to be committed to this process, because it is a matter that affects a leader, affects a county, affects many of our people, including members from that county. And so, Mr. Speaker, as we discuss this, as I put this motion on the table of the House, Mr. Speaker, I want to move this motion and request, Mr. Speaker, the leader of minority to second. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to second the motion. And Mr. Speaker, right at the beginning,
let's consult in low tones, please. Let's consult in low tones.
Including the Attorney General Emeritus. Mr. Speaker, in fact, when people are consulting loudly, it looks like even the weight of this onerous duty that the Senate has is being taken lightly, because there is no other institution in the country other than the Senate and the courts of law, and it's not the ordinary court, it is the High Court and the Supreme Court that can remove an elected leader from a position on which he's been elected. That's the power given only to the courts and the highest courts in the land and the Senate. So I beg you that when you are dealing with a matter of such weight, we treat it with a decorum, so that anybody looking at the proceedings in this House knows that we are taking this matter seriously. This governor, who may eventually be tried by the Senate, he would want to feel that he's being given a fair chance. And those who have accused him would want to feel that they are being given a fair chance. So, Mr. Speaker, I beg that we appreciate the weight of what we are about to do. And, Mr. Speaker, to answer Senator Malala's question, which I think is critical, at this moment, the decision that we're making is whether to investigate through the plenary or through the committee. Who is to carry out the investigations? And that is a decision which the Senate itself must make. Do we go by the way of plenary or do we go by the way of committee? And that's a decision of the Senate comprising of all the members and particularly the delegations. So I do not want, and with respect, anybody to feel that, this is like a prejudgment. We are going by the history, the little history you have had. There were moments during the Wambora case that almost everybody unanimously felt that the correct way was to go was through the committee. But I think, we have shifted goalposts. When one comes, we think the committee is good. When another one comes, we think plenary is the best way to go. So, Mr. Speaker, I like what the House Business, or rather the Senate Business Committee decided, that it is now the Senate sitting as plenary to decide whether we go by plenary or by the committee, not the Senate Business Committee. Because when the Senate Business Committee has ever makes that decision, when it's brought before the House, you can just get from the air what the feeling of the members are. In fact, the last time, the leader of majority declined to move the motion, not because people did not like the committee, but because of the names they saw. So what I think we are trying to do is that if you want to go by the way of committee, let us have that decision. And then we come with another motion with names, then you are the ones who are going to make the decision. If you decide that we are going by way of plenary, this matter ends here, and the Speaker will proceed to read the charges, and the trial will be by way of plenary. So I think this is a very democratic process for us to make that decision. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that in my many years in Parliament, many years in Parliament, I would encourage, from my own experience, that each senator has got his own self-worth. And when you sit or come before the Senate as a parliamentarian, you have your own self-worth. And me, I can never be intimidated in my political life. Can never be intimidated. Because I've seen many people come and go. I've seen many powerful people come and go. I've seen presidents come here and go. I have seen people who, on their word, you would leave this house and you'll be locked in the same day. They have come and gone. I have seen very respected women in this country like Grace Onyango, who was in the committee for the special investigations relating to the disappearance of JM. Yeah. And that made me very proud because those days there were very few women. And she stood firm. She was required to change a report of the National Assembly. And she stood firm. So I want to plead with you. I want to plead with you. We got a heavy task And if people out there feel you can be intimidated and you've been brought to this house with all the powers that we have, including the trial of a governor, imagine next time that you may have a motion for the trial of the president. Will you be intimidated? So I urge you, for the future of this country, in the performance of your constitutional duties, never be intimidated. And if my day comes, I'll accept it. If my day comes, I'll accept it. But my conscience, the way I've been brought up, my conscience, I will never sell it. I will never. Because I know men and women, like the late Serenoi, one of the most brilliant lawyers. He could have lived longer as a parliamentarian. But for his standing for the truth, we are now enjoying some of the privileges. Let us think of these people who sacrificed so much. And in Parliament, people like quoting Martin Luther King, said so much. There's another famous French philosopher whom we like, that you may have the right of what to say, I may disagree with you, by Voltaire, but I'll defend you to death for your right to say it. It's so beautiful when you say it, but when that moment comes, we speak a different language. So I want to say today, in defense of what you are supposed to do, that however much I disagree with you, but if you are being violated and have sworn to defend the Constitution of this country, however much we disagreed, I'll stand up to defend you. I also expect you as a patriot. That's why the word patriot is there in Article 10, that you'll defend me. So let us not behave as a nation of beasts, or we live in the animal world. Let us be men of honor and distinction. Men and women of distinction. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I beg to second.
Order, senators. Before order, senators. Before I propose the question, I have a communication to make on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Mohammed Abdi Mohamud, the governor of Wajir County. Honorable senators, by a letter reference number SPK WCS Senate /4 2021, dated 28th April 2021, and received in my office on 29th April 2021, the Speaker of the Wajir Assembly informed me that at a sitting of the County Assembly held on Tuesday, 27th April 2021, the County Assembly approved a motion pursuant to Section 233(2) of the County Governments Act for the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Mohammed Abdi Mohamud, the governor of Wajir County. The Speaker of the County Assembly also forwarded copies of the following documents: the order paper of the Wajir County Assembly dated Tuesday, 27th April 2021, B, notice of motion by Honorable Abdullahi Isaac, member of the County Assembly, Elnur Tula Ward, on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the governor of Wajir County, dated Monday, 19th April 2021. The Hansard and votes and proceedings of the Wajir County Assembly, dated Tuesday, 27th April 2021, and the roll call register indicating the members in support of the motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the governor. Honorable Senators, in terms of Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33(a) of the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order number 75(1)(a) of the Senate Standing Orders, the Speaker of the Senate is required within 7 days after receiving notice of a resolution from the Speaker of a County Assembly to convene a meeting of the Senate to hear charges against the governor. Honorable Senators, pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Government Act, Standing Order 75(1) and of the Senate Standing Orders, I hereby proceed to read the charges against the governor of Wajir County. 1, Charge number 1, gross violation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, County Governments Act 2012, the Public Procurement and Disposal Act 2015, and the Public Finance Management Act 2012. 1, failure to account for the financial resources allocated to the county in disregard to Article 201A, 183.3 of the Constitution and Sections 149 and 166 of the Public Finance Management Act. 2, lack of accountability to the County Assembly pursuant to Section 32 of the County Governments Act 2021. 3, misappropriation of resources through corrupt procurement processes contrary to Section 19 of the Wajir County Disaster Management Act, Sections 82(1)(b), 119(5), 201A, DE of the Public Finance Management Act, and Sections 45, 46, 47, 48, 53, 54, 57, 71, and 74 of the Public Procurement and Disposal Act 2015. Charge number 2, abuse of office, gross misconduct. Contrary to Articles 235 of the Constitution, the County Government Act 21 and the Public Service Act by allegedly constantly reshuffling chief officers at the convenience of the corruption practices. Chief officers at the convenience of the governor's wife. Exercising nepotism, favoritism, and other corruption practices contrary to Article 73(2)(b) of the Constitution. Furthermore, the governor has allegedly usurped the powers of the County Public Service Board by appointing persons to hold office. Honorable Senators, in terms of the way forward, following the reading of the charges against the governor, Standing Order number 75(1)(b) of the Senate Standing Order gives the Senate 2 options on how to proceed with the matter. The Senate may A, by resolution, appoint a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter or investigate the matter in plenary. 6, as listed, the leader of majority has just moved the order, laid and moved the order paper, motion for the establishment of special committee, and the motion thereon is listed at order number 3. Should this motion be carried, the special committee will be required under Section 33(4) of the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order number 75(2) of the Senate to investigate the matter and to report to the Senate on whether it finds the particulars of the allegations against the governor to have been substantiated. If, however, the motion for the establishment of a special committee does not pass the Senate shall proceed to investigate and consider the matter in plenary, and in that event, I will appoint the dates on which the Senate will sit in plenary to hear and dispose of the matter. Honorable Senators, it's not worth, and I wish to emphasize to all honorable senators that when we come to the debate on the motion to establish the special committee, the debate on the motion shall be limited to the substance of the motion, namely whether or not to establish the special committee. It will not be a debate on the substance of the impeachment of its merits, and this is important, propriety, prudence, or even the constitutionality or the legality of the processes that have preceded the submission of this matter to the Senate. It is therefore not permissible to deviate to any matters other than the motion before the Senate. Honorable Senators, impeachment is one of the most crucial oversight tools and rules for the Senate to hold state officers accountable. Therefore, in understanding this mandate, the Senate will be sitting as a quasi-judicial body and will conduct investigations into disputed claims and alleged infractions of the Constitution and the law, and will thereafter make its determination. In this regard, it shall be out of order within the meaning of Standing Order number 117 for any senator to make comments, whether written or spoken, in relation to the conduct of the governor or the impeachment process outside the confines of the impeachment proceedings, as such comments may prejudice the just outcome of the process. I conclude by urging all senators to exercise the highest level of responsibility on this matter. I thank you. I now put the question, which is that whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Government Act 2012 on Tuesday, 27th April 2021, The Wajir County Assembly approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Muhammad Abdi Muhammad, Governor of Wajir County. And further, whereas by letter referenced SPK WCA Senate 4/202-1 dated Wednesday 28 April 2021 and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Thursday 29 April, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Wajir informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of a motion by a County Assembly and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly. And whereas pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order Number 75(1)(b) of the Senate by resolution may appoint a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter. Now, therefore, pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Government Act 2021 and Standing Order Number 75(1)(b)(1), the Senate resolves to proceed on this matter by way of establishment of a special committee to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Muhammad Abdi Muhammad, the Governor of Wajir County. Senator Wetangula.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Standing Order 75 gives us two avenues of dealing with this matter. Special committee by resolution of the House or House sitting as plenary. And as is set out in the Standing Order, Mr. Speaker, none of the processes is superior to the other. They are all avenues and highways to justice. This House, Mr. Speaker, is now faced with a situation where the Senate Business Committee, I think, has not been very neat in what it has done. Because under Standing Order 75(1)(b), the Senate may by resolution appoint a special committee. Does it mean, Mr. Speaker, in dealing with this motion without names, that once the House, if it passes that we go to committee, then they'll bring another motion with names for approval, which makes it unnecessarily tedious for the House? Because in previous cases, we have had names coming with motions. But I understand fully, Mr. Speaker. I understand fully what is going on. The high levels of mistrust between ourselves, the Speaker, the levels of confidence between each other is fairly low. And one wants first to have the pie of the committee before you add in any additives. But Mr. Speaker, having gone through several impeachments in this House, we are also informed, as is set out in Standing Order Number 1, by precedents and experiences that we have gone through. When we started, Mr. Speaker, the first impeachment of Senator Wambora, I was leading the side behind me. And the committee process was very popular. And Boni Khalwale, who chaired the first impeachment committee, I think did a fairly good job at that time. Other impeachments came, Mr. Speaker. Oh yes, Senator Murkomen was the vice chair. And when they finished and brought the report, Mr. Speaker, there were no rumors, there were no innuendos, there were no aspersions. Everybody accepted the outcome of the committee report as is where I was. Then came other situations, Mr. Speaker. And now the House started hearing strange stories about our own conduct. Murang'a, Kirinyaga. Stories were abound, Mr. Speaker. Taita, I think was a bit different, and many others. We did one, Mr. Speaker, in the last parliament of Kericho. I think that was the fairest process of impeachment that this House conducted. And it was unanimous beyond any iota of doubt that Governor Chepkwony had been maliciously framed. The committee found as such, and the House unanimously agreed. And Senator Orengo would bear me out that when we acquitted Governor Chepkwony, not even a bird on a tree would whisper a dissent. We all agreed that Senate had been just, fair, reasonable, and the governor had gotten his fair day before the Senate. And that's what it should be, Mr. Speaker. If this House lives to its billing, it matters not which avenue you take, whether it's committee or plenary. It matters not who sits in that committee. Of late, we have had inventions of descriptions of committee members whose duty is to sit there, yawn, and vote, and a few doing the work. I want to urge members, Mr. Speaker, like Senator Orengo has said, in the event we agree to a committee, if you feel you cannot discharge your responsibility, don't accept to serve on that committee. If you feel you have got some vestiges of bias or some hang-ups of some past relationships, don't accept to serve on that committee. Because justice must not only be seen, must not only be done, but must be manifestly seen to be done. For whoever comes before us, the charges can be very bad, but we shall convict on evidence. It's very easy to say so many things. Mr. Speaker, I dare say one of the processes we did here, and the House acted like Jesus before the court of Herod. It is a recent impeachment that we did here. And, Mr. Speaker, is what under the bridge. It is a matter where we are funked as official. We don't need to belabor. But let's not, Mr. Speaker, act like those comical characters in Nikolai Gogol's book, The Government Inspector, where the mayor says, Mr. Speaker, hang that fellow, lock up that fellow for theft. And his orderly said, Mr. Mayor, he has not stolen. And the mayor says, lock him up, he will steal one day anyway. Mr. Speaker, we should not take that route. We want, Mr. Speaker, to have a fair process. I, for one, Mr. Speaker, have participated. I've never sat in a committee, but I've seen justice and fairness done through the committee system. I've seen justice and fairness done through plenary. Each senator here has a decision to make, and you are going to vote, and vote with your conscience. This is not a trial of the governor of Wajir by the people of Wajir. This is the trial of the governor of Wajir for transgressing the law, for misconducting himself, so it's alleged, by the people of Kenya represented by all of you here. It is not the people of Wajir. The senators who come from Wajir may have a special interest, but the senator for Pokot, the senator for Kiambu, the young senator for Garissa, the young senator for Makueni, they all have a proprietary interest in the protection of the use of resources of this country. If the senator of any of our counties come here, we must all behave like nationalists, patriots, as Orengo said, to agree that a shilling stolen in Bungoma is a shilling stolen in Nairobi. A shilling stolen in Mombasa is a shilling stolen in Lamu, and so on, Mr. Speaker. So I want to urge members that, in fact, Mr. Speaker, if really the House was to agree to save time, we don't need to belabor the point of whether it is one is better than the other. We can, after hearing a few of us, vote and set the motion rolling, because right now, Mr. Speaker, the case of Wajir is like a swimmer who has dived from the diving board, and even if he changes his mind, he must hit the water. So you can only change your mind before you dive. Once you leap from the diving board, you must hit the water. And hitting the water, Wajir governor will, Mr. Speaker. From the previous engagements, as I finish, Mr. Speaker, senators must think very seriously. We've had very serious allegations of impropriety in certain processes. Whether we want to go through those soiled routes or go through a route where, I remember one time, Mr. Dongeri here, when they were changing Section 2A of the Constitution, Article 2A, when they were introducing to remove multipartism, I believe it was Senator Dongeri. If it was not him, I'll apologize to him. But he said, removal of multipartism and bringing Section 2A to a de jure one-party state reduces stress to the individual. I don't agree, but that's what he said. We don't want to stress anybody. We want to have fairness and justice. I'll be comfortable with whichever route the House unanimously take, but let's take a route that gives justice to the governor of Wajir and let him appear before us, not like the American situation where my distinguished nephew here can bear me out, that they say in America, when a black man appears before the most liberal white judge, he still thinks he will not get justice. And when a black man appears before the most conservative and horrendous black judge, he thinks he will get justice and ends up not getting the justice. So, Mr. Speaker, let's make a decision that helps this House maintain its dignity. It is standing in this country, and I agree with Senator Orengo that this is the only House that removes people from constitutional offices, apart from the courts. It is a duty that is not vested even in the lower house of this parliament. They can only read charges against the president, they can't try the president. The assemblies out there can only read charges against a governor and make a resolution, they can't try the governor. This is the only house. My brothers and sisters, this house must stand to be counted. And as we do so, we are informed by history. You know, they say cowards will always come back to the scene and say, many of us died here. And they are living. The heroes are gone, but left a mark. Let's be the heroes, let's make a mark. Let's not come back and say many of us died here and we are living. Thank you, Mr.
Senator Linturi.
This opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to the leader of the majority move this motion. And he didn't as properly spelled out by the Constitution and our standing orders, and especially standing order number 75(1)(b), though my good friend Senator Wetangula did not read the provisions of standing order number 75(b)(2) up to the end. But Mr. Speaker, if my reading and understanding of this provision requires us or the members of this House to appoint a special committee, it does not end there. Talks about a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter, and then the second option is by investigate the matter in plenary. So, Mr. Speaker, I find the motion as presented before this House being quite inefficient because it doesn't have the members of this committee. Moses Wetangula has put it very clearly because of the dishonesty, the mischief, the levels of trust are going down probably. I am left wondering whether I'm able to reconcile my mind in accepting to pass a motion where the membership is not known, and then we leave the matters to a few people to go and make a decision and come back again. So if that is the position, then I couldn't understand why this would not really have happened. But Mr. Speaker, probably why you find there isn't so much interest or there isn't so much hype about this thing, Mr. Speaker, and I will not fail to repeat and say, is probably there could be no hand of the executive on external interference is not there, because the last three impeachments that we've dealt with were our state instigated. And in terms of the manner in which we behaved, in terms of the manner on how we interrogated these matters, the level of independence and the level of looking at things the way they should have been then was missing. So, Mr. Speaker, just like Senator Wetangula has said, because there are options provided for under this standing order, and we will go by the majority of this House, and in whichever way what we expect to achieve is that there must be justice to the governor of Wajir County. Doing justice to the governor of Wajir County does not necessarily mean that he's impeached or is not. That decision will be made after whichever method that we use will have looked at the evidence that will have been presented before this House. So I urge and request the members, as we make a decision on this matter, let us be alive to the fact that we have that serious duty to make a decision on this matter, and for the best interest of this country, and not only for the people of Wajir. And if I have to quote Moses Wetangula, when that time comes to make a decision on which route, then I will vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr.
Thank you, Speaker. I must confess that I threw the spanner in the works in the SBC about this motion. That I thought, from experience of the past as whip, that the onerous duty of picking from my side 5 members has always put ourselves as whips and 6 on the other side into crosshairs with our members, because we appear to have decided which court is going to decide this case. And therefore my view now is that, unlike what Senator Linturia said, if the plenary decides it's a committee, both sides will sit and pick the names as opposed to the whips going to sit in a corner. That's really the point. So that you remove the idea that it's going to be one person making the decision. Mr. Speaker, let me say this. We have done plenary committees here. And I sat here during the last one, and there were heaps and heaps of paper here. I can bet most of you never opened even one file. There are so many files here. You don't even remember which file. By the time we finish one impeachment, the desk outside had possibly 6 to 10 files that were never collected. Bundles. Nobody read. The people who are accused persons in this Senate have been charged for various offenses. Senator Cherargei, who has about 7 cases, and others. Every accused person wants to feel innocent. We must make every accused person feel innocent. First, the only problem about committees, because I want to disclose all these things, and these committees and this act was prepared by a committee where Senator Kipchumba Murkomen sat. And we must blame you if there's a problem. You put a clause where if the committee acquits, they don't bring the committee report for a vote. That's just the only problem. But are we saying honestly, senators, that a committee cannot convict the same way a plenary can convict? We convicted Rwambora twice. We acquitted in plenary. We have convicted in plenary. The only problem is that we have never set clear precedent on how to proceed. I've heard, Mr. Speaker, and I hope you're going to make a determination also as to whether this is a matter concerning counties or doesn't concern counties. We have to be consistent so that when people come here, they know what they are going to do and what they are going to face. I've said this, Mr. Speaker, that portion of the plenary where we go into camera is weird. It's like a walk in hell. You just go, we close ourselves in a room, discuss amongst ourselves, and when we go into open camera, we say the things that we were saying off camera. But, Mr. Speaker, and we want to tell the people of Wajir, people got arrested in the Senate for defending money that you are losing. 2.7 billion. It's an embarrassment to us who fought in Team Kenya for Wajir not to lose money, to bring impeachments that if you read them, on the face of it, it's weird. But, Mr. Speaker, this Senate in Article 96, where it says that you must protect counties, and that's where, other than protecting the Constitution, it says protect counties. You must protect counties from politicians, political homogeny, thieves, and what would appear as if people have made a decision politically to remove a governor or not to remove a governor. It's important. I sat in the Chepkwony committee. And even the senator never complained. In fact, the current Minister of Energy was the senator of Kericho. We gave him a mandate to reconcile the county. It's no wonder that county is doing so well. The only county where I have seen a complete data bank of all their information. Very quiet. So impeachments are also ways, like we have determined in the Chepkwony case, a way of regularizing things that are irregular. I said this before, Mr. Speaker, about the Taita Taveta County. Resolutions were read here, which we never voted on. What happened to those resolutions about pursuing this and the other? Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, and I want to confess that the Health Committee is doing an excellent job. I rarely commend you committee members. But yesterday, in the investigation of the use of COVID funds by counties, I saw a committee that is determined to get to the bottom of the misuse of COVID funds in Makueni, led by Senator Outa. So in both cases, we have a solution. But my position has always been that we must be able, in acquitting, whether acquitting or convicting, a decision that can stand the test of justice. That is the position. So let's go to the vote. This proposal was ours for you to make the decision. And Mr. Speaker, but once you make a decision on how people are going to vote in terms of the technical issues and the procedural issues, then we can make a decision and commence the trial of this governor as quickly as possible, because I'm told there's another governor who is coming. So we better clear the deck as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Senator Kipchumba Murkomen.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. As a person, Mr. Speaker, who has served as both a member of a committee removing a governor and also as a leader in this House, Mr. Speaker, I know the positives and the demerits of a committee process. And Mr. Speaker, I agree with Senator Mutula. I was in the task force on devolved government. That, Mr. Speaker, was constituted by the Minister of Local Government that time, which is Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, as Sakaja here is telling me it is His Excellency. Mr. Speaker, constituted a task force, which, Mr. Speaker, Senator James Orengo was Minister of Lands, asked for my CV after the former Prime Minister instructed that I should be a member of that committee. And Mr. Speaker, I became a member of the task force on devolved government. And it is true, as Mutula Kilonzo Jr. Senator is saying, we sat through and thought about removal of a governor and proposed. You will be interested to know, Mr. Speaker, that the Secretariat was headed by our own Eunice Kishangi, who was actually my lecturer before and who is a staff in this House. We served in the same committee with judges like Kathurima Kinoti, Mr. Speaker. We served with people like Justice Pauline Nyamwea, Professor Mutaa Kangu, first governor of Kitui, Governor Malombe, among others. And we're very proud of what we achieved. Just to help the House, the reason why we decided at that point in time that it was important to conclude in the committee and not bring it to the plenary if the person is not found guilty is that, Mr. Speaker, we borrowed directly from Article 145 of the Constitution, which is the impeachment of the President. And you know, Mr. Speaker, Article 145 is clear that it says in subsection 6, if the special committee reports that the particulars of any allegation against the President have not been substantiated, further proceedings shall not be taken under this article in respect of the allegation. So we borrow directly, and part of our draft team was our clerk, Jeremiah Nyegenye. So, Mr. Speaker, this was well thought out. And I agree, Senator Wetangula has really captured the history. In the Wambora 1 and 2, which I served as the vice chair, Mr. Speaker, there were no allegations. Even the manner in which we did our decision, we have a big emotion, is questioned, Mr. Speaker, because out there, the public will come to the conclusion that, Mr. Speaker, the reason why they didn't go to committee is because Murkomen was made the chair, or, you know, Mr. Speaker, Senator Kwamboka was the vice chair, or the chair, or whoever here was biased. And therefore, there was an outright decision of the Senate to say we will not go to the committee. The advantage with this one is that if the Senate decides that we are not going to committee, then nobody suffers any prejudice, Mr. Speaker. It will just be no member of the Senate will feel like they are being disenfranchised or their name is being, Mr. Speaker, besmirched outside there. The other thing that I'd like to say, Mr. Speaker, is that if the House decides that we are going to plenary, Mr. Speaker, because the House is supreme, they will make that decision. We will now have to think about how to hold that plenary in the current pandemic situation. It will be that, Mr. Speaker, as the Speaker and the Chair of the House, you have to consult with your brother in the National Assembly. Maybe the National Assembly chambers will be a better venue for us, Mr. Speaker, so that we can exercise social distance even as we make our decision, Mr. Speaker, about whether or not to impeach the governor. So either way, Mr. Speaker, we must find ways of dealing, if it is plenary, if it is committee. Both ways have their advantages, Mr. Speaker. But I really want to commend Majority Leader here and the Minority Leader and the Senate Business Committee for taking a very genius decision of bringing the motion without the names. Because, Mr. Speaker, at least when we throw, if we throw out the motion, none of the senators will feel, Mr. Speaker, that we are targeting them. The last thing I'd like to say is that, Mr. Speaker, if we decide that we are going to use committee methods, Mr. Speaker, I totally agree with the senator who said, Mr. Speaker, I think Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr., that let's go a more liberal way, a more democratic way, where the majority side will sit down, and in the majority side, Mr. Speaker, we have almost like two camps. Mr. Speaker, we will go and make our own decision there, Mr. Speaker, and say this camp and the other camp, Mr. Speaker, will give 2 people or 3 people. It's a common knowledge in the public. It's a very common knowledge. Even in the other side, Mr. Speaker, minority side will also sit in the same manner. The last thing I want to say, and the last one, I am completely, Mr. Speaker, touched by the speech of the Minority Leader, Senator James Orengo, and I wish he was here. As I said, Mr. Speaker, he played a role for me to serve in the task force on devolved government, and that's why I made a decision to run for Senate. And so even when I studied law, Senator James Orengo was one of the people that I looked up to. I am extremely impressed by what he said here. It is that kind of conviction, Mr. Speaker, that will help us to make decisions that are for posterity. It will help us, Mr. Speaker, to look even at the case of Wajir, not with the eyes that have concluded that the governor is guilty. Because some people walk to me, Mr. Speaker, and say, that guy is guilty, must go home. The people of Wajir have said he must go. That is not the duty of the people of Wajir. This House, like you communicated, Mr. Speaker, is for us to look at the facts. If the facts, Mr. Speaker, say we must convict, we must convict. Like it was said in the O.J. Simpson trial. If, Mr. Speaker, in the O.J. Simpson trial, the issue was whether the gloves that were found on the scene were actually for O.J. Simpson. And so at the trial, he was told to try the gloves. And the gloves, Mr. Speaker, did not fit. And the court said, I think it was the lawyer who said, if it doesn't fit, acquit. You must acquit, Mr. Speaker. So it's our duty here to look at the facts, to look at the gloves, to look at the evidence, Mr. Speaker, and make a conclusion that will make the people of Kenya, the people of Wajir, the people of this republic, without, Mr. Speaker, preconceived positions that we have and prejudices, that, Mr. Speaker, we conduct a trial that will make everybody be proud of the Senate. Whatever the decision we make today, Mr. Speaker, it's in the best interest of this country. And, Mr. Speaker, I again conclude by saying the decision to bring the motion without the names, Mr. Speaker, is a genius decision. And, Mr. Speaker, if we decide to go for committee, we must sit back, and make a decision, Mr. Speaker, on how to constitute that committee for fairness and for the best interest of the country, and also to ensure those who have served in similar committees in the past, Mr. Speaker, can give way to others, Mr. Speaker, who've never served in similar committees. Mr. Speaker, that should be the principle, that those who have not served in this committee are given an opportunity. Those who don't also perhaps hold the positions, Mr. Speaker, in the House, get an opportunity to participate in such a committee. And now that 2 others are coming, then we can share, Mr. Speaker, these people can go for this committee, others go for that committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ochilo Ayako by virtue. Senator Ochilo Ayako. Senator Ochilo. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to address the Senate on this matter virtually. Mr. Speaker, this is one of the most important decisions that the Senate has to make. Mr. Speaker, outside this chamber and inside this chamber, I've had 1 or 2 or 3 of us very skeptical about either arrangement, whether it's through committee or whether it's through plenary. And I think this kind of suspicion has been causing, deterioration of the image and the standing of committee in the eyes of right-thinking members of society. Mr. Speaker, if we show ourselves that we have no faith, we have no belief in Senate by starting to undermine our own reputations, Mr. Speaker, it becomes problematic. Out there, we become bad marketers of our image. We become bad marketers of our confidence. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe that whether it is committee or plenary, let us give a good image to both Senate collectively and to individual senators. There have been remarks made by ourselves on the floor of the House that undermine our dignities. There have been, some of us have attributed bad fate.
Lot of interest, so if I have to give everybody a chance, I'll just give 5 minutes, then I'll reduce also the number of the people. Senator Harugura.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to contribute to this motion on which way the committee goes. As you have said very clearly, it's not the matter of the substance of the motion, of the impeachment itself, but it's the procedure. Mr. Speaker, our procedure in the standing order is clear, which way to go, either plenary or committee. And also, we have seen that we borrowed from the Constitution on how to do it. But, Mr. Speaker, the Senate has done it both ways. We have done the committee, we have done the plenary before. But personally, somebody who even sat in the committee, the first one of Wambura, the two of them, my problem, Senate works through committees and is the effective way to work. But the problem I have is once this committee has done its work, because it was working for the Senate, then that report either way should be discussed by the Senate and voted on. The reason why of late there have been tendency of going to plenary is that Senate not being able to debate the report of the committee if it says that the charges have not been substantiated. And so long as we have that in our standing order, which is 75(4)(a), then we will not be able to, as a Senate, to do justice to what the committee has done, because at the end of the day, that is a Senate decision. It's not a committee decision. So committees work for the Senate, but it's for the Senate to make the decision. So long as we have that clause there in our standing orders, Mr. Speaker, I'll like to go the plenary way. Until we amend our standing orders, we remove that clause, that section which says that once the committee has found the issues not substantiated, then there is no further debate. Because that way, then it's like the committee will have usurped the powers of the Senate to make that ruling. And for now, I think that is why there have been moved towards plenary of late, because of that restriction. And it's a thing which we can see. If you look at this same constitution, that's why we are still now grappling here on the issue of what happens if a matter is brought. The Senate has done it both ways. We have done the committee, we have done the plenary before. But personally, somebody who even sat in the committee, the first one of Wambura, the two of them, my problem, Senate works through committees and is the effective way to work. But the problem I have is once this committee has done its work, because it was working for the Senate, then that report either way should be discussed by the Senate and voted on. The reason why of late there have been tendency of going to plenary is that Senate not being able to debate the report of the committee if it says that the charges have not been substantiated. And so long as we have that in our standing order, which is 75(4)(a), then we will not be able to, as a Senate, to do justice to what the committee has done, because at the end of the day, that is a Senate decision. It's not a committee decision. So committees work for the Senate, but it's for the Senate to make the decision. So long as we have that clause there in our standing orders, Mr. Speaker, I'll like to go the plenary way. Until we amend our standing orders, we remove that clause, that section which says that once the committee has found the issues not substantiated, then there is no further debate. Because that way, then it's like the committee will have usurped the powers of the Senate to make that ruling. And for now, I think that is why they have been moved towards plenary of late, because of that restriction. And it's a thing which we can see. If you look at this the same constitution, that's why we are still now grappling here on the issue of what happens if a matter is brought to the parliament and we don't have that ability to make decision on it, and it's very live in the issue of the BBI. The same thing is because of this kind of laws which limit the Senate or Parliament from making decisions. So, Mr. Speaker, I'll say that we go the plenary way because the committee finding sometimes restricts the senators from exercising their powers. Thank you.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I give my views on which way to go, the Speaker allow me to join Senator Murkomen in really congratulating and applauding Senator James Orengo for his submissions a few minutes ago and his guidance to some of us who are young legislators. The Speaker, the Senator Orengo that I listened to this afternoon is the Senator Orengo that I used to read about when I was in school. Fearless, and a man who says it as it is. And for that, I salute you, Senator Orengo. Mr. Speaker, on the matter of the motion before us, I must say, Mr. Speaker, that yes, we must appreciate the need for innovation and doing things differently. All the times that motions of impeachment have been brought into this House, Mr. Speaker, and especially the establishment of committees, those motions have been accompanied by names. An explanation has been given as to why there was a departure from that tradition on this case. The Speaker, though I am not convinced that the argument put forward is convincing, Mr. Speaker, I will be bound by that decision. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, at the impeachment process of Senator Mombi Waiguru of Kirinyaga, I said then, and I want to say today, that the people of Wajir expect justice from the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. The governor of Wajir expects justice from the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, whatever happens, it is our responsibility as the Senate to serve that justice both to the governor and the people of Wajir. Mr. Speaker, I have been very, very consistent, and I will not break that trend. Mr. Speaker, I have always argued in all impeachment proceedings that plenary is the way to go. Because through plenary, Mr. Speaker, we afford the people of the counties affected an opportunity to follow proceedings against their own governor. The Speaker, there has been argument here, and I want to disabuse ourselves, our colleagues, of the notion that when you go to the committees, people are more likely to read documents presented before them. Mr. Speaker, nothing could be further from the truth. If you are not attuned to read, whether you are appointed in a committee or it's in plenary, you will not read. So, Mr. Speaker, that argument flies in the face of facts. The Speaker, I would urge my colleagues and plead with them that we go the plenary way, and going plenary, Mr. Speaker, is not to say that there is more likelihood of the governor being either acquitted or nailed. Mr. Speaker, going the plenary way gives an opportunity to all of us to participate in this debate and for the people of Wajir and the people of this country to follow the proceedings live from the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, I submit.
Senator Langat via Zoom. Senator Langat via Zoom.
That actually help the Senate to determine how the governors actually are handling resources in our counties. And I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that both ways or both avenues are very important to the Senate. And I tend to think that the perception outside there that people think that the fairest way is the plenary, I think it was a creation of ourselves recently. That some people used to think that actually when we take this particular issue to the plenary, it appears as if plenary is a lynching ground. And I want to say that somehow also the same perception is supported by what has been happening. That of late, all the governors that have gone through the plenary, more often than not, they have not succeeded. And those who have gone to the committees, maybe they have succeeded no matter the magnitude or the gravity of the issues that were affecting them. So I want to say that in future, I've seen very good progress today, especially bringing to the Senate a motion without names. This is a progress. Another progress that will actually help this House in future, Mr. Speaker, to clear any doubt is if we may introduce an alternative method that if this time we go the plenary, automatically next time we shall go to the committee, because both of the avenues have, are accepted by the Senate and they are in our standing orders. So for this matter, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that me, I've got no problem, whichever way, if it is the committee or the plenary. I do believe that it is high time, as Senator James Orengo was saying, that we put our feet on the ground and make sure that in whichever way, justice to the people, justice to the governor, and justice even to the county assemblies is done. We don't want a situation, Mr. Speaker. I've also heard some governors complaining outside there that it would be easier even to deal with the MCAs than coming to the Senate, because some of them do believe that justice is not done well. So it is high time that we don't fear any quarter, that we don't receive any instruction from anybody. We act independently as senators, and in whichever way, justice is done. So I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that to me, I believe that it is high time of consciousness to all of us to make sure that we do the right thing so that the Kenyans receive the right justice in whatever they are aspiring to. So I want to say whichever way that will come, I support. If it will be the committees, I'm happy that the names are not there, so that in case some people who are being suspected to be maybe not trustworthy, it is now high time that we shall participate also in making sure that which group of people appears. And I also discourage this idea that some particular people keeps on appearing. This also will cast some aspersion to the people outside there to believe, Mr. Speaker, that why so and not so and so. So because of the improvements that I have seen today, I wouldn't mind if this particular motion, this particular case goes to committee. I don't have any problem. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Amos Wapo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I will not go into the history because that has been clearly outlined by Senator Wetangula and Mutula Kilonzo Jr., and others. We have had an experience of both this House sitting as plenary investigating a matter. We have also had the experience of going via the special committee report. Speaking as a lawyer, I am more inclined towards a special committee delving into this matter. Because in those situations where we have had a special committee delving in this matter, at least the House has had a full report on each and every allegation that has come before us, and the evidence that they had, and what they decided. When it comes straight to the plenary, we do not have such a full report by the very nature of the plenary. Also, there's also a tendency of things being highly political when it's just a plenary rather than a committee. So as a lawyer, as a senior counsel, former chairman of the Law Society of Kenya, former chairman of the African Bar Association, former Secretary General of the International Bar Association, and of course, Attorney General Emeritus, I'm inclined towards the committee. But Mr. Chairman, that's where now we as a House should really consider making some slight amendments to our standing orders. Mr. Speaker, I think there's a fear, I detect a fear that if the matter goes before the committee, according to the standing orders, if the committee decides that the allegations have not been substantiated, that is the end of the matter, and the rest of the senators will not have a say. In other words, it is possible that the matter can be killed at the special committee because of that. Now, I was feeling, Mr. Speaker, sir, that in the future, in order to remove that fear, we should allow this House to either approve or disapprove the recommendations of the committee, and not give the committee the wherewithal to be in a position where they can kill the investigations. So I'm recommending that recommendation that to go forward. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm also saying that for as long as the standing orders remain as they are, we should really be more careful. I've heard it said that most members do not have the habit of reading. And whether you are in a committee or in plenary, you'll not read and you'll go by the wave. Let us appoint people to the committee who are prepared to work, who are prepared to read, and who are prepared to give us a good report. And not just have one or two members of the committee working so hard and the rest are there to just approve whatever the one or two hard workers have said. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am inclined myself as a lawyer to go the committee way. Thank you.
Senator Cherargei is not in. Senator Ledama Vacho. Senator Ledama. We can't hear you. Unmute. Unmute your mic.
My mic is on mute.
Okay, we can now hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for giving me an opportunity to make my contribution in regards to the issue of the impeachment of the governor of Wajir. Mr. Speaker, the issue in question here is whether to go plenary or committee. Mr. Speaker, from the onset, let me put it this way. Our standing orders are quite clear that the Senate ought to investigate, take 10 days to be able to investigate the allegations. Article 96 of the Kenyan Constitution tasks the Senate with one key mandate to protect the interests of the county and their governments, which means in this case, we're protecting the interest of the citizens of Wajir and also the government of Wajir. Mr. Speaker, during the last two impeachments, we saw different kind of things unfolding. I sat during the impeachment process of the former governor of Nairobi, Mike Mbuvi Sonko. And to tell you the truth, I was perplexed because the lawyers be able to give justice to the people of Nairobi and also the former governor of Nairobi. And at that point, Mr. Speaker, sir, I was convinced that plenary is the worst form of justice that anyone, or procedure that someone can expect to be given justice. Mr. Speaker, the documents, the amount of money which was used by the county assembly to be able to make copies that can be brought in, the issue of the preliminary objections, those were things that were actually just wished-washed away in my view, Mr. Speaker. We did not, and these are my views, give the county government of Nairobi, neither did we give the county governor of Nairobi then any form of justice, because we are quick to rush to be able to conclude the matter. And I don't believe that I would be fulfilling my mandate as a senator if I just wish away and not even look at the allegations. I know, Mr. Speaker, that an impeachment procedure in the Senate is not really a legal procedure, but more of a political procedure. But I think we should appear, since we are the house that makes the law, we should appear as if at least we can be able to really look at the laws that we make and even help implement them. I am of the view that if the Senate of the Republic of Kenya had concluded the drafting of the bill, and actually even have it ascended into power on the impeachment procedure, we will not have this debate of whether to go plenary or to go committee way. So because there are various things that will come up, I'm 100% sure that we'll have court injunction. I think, we are still wishy-washy in which way to go, whether to proceed and maybe go and tell the courts that they cannot interfere with the constitutional body and proceed with the timelines. But I think a committee would be able to look at those issues so that in the event that this matter proceed in the High Court of Kenya or in the courts of Kenya, at least the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, which make laws, can be seen to be the one which want those laws to be abided by, implemented fully, because it will be a little bit ludicrous in my view to say that we are the house that makes the laws. But when we make the laws, if at all we are told that there is a court order stopping the proceedings from going on, we disregard because we don't want anyone to be able to inject parliament. So, Mr. Speaker, for us to be able to do a good job,
okay,
and to stay firm, and to actually do a job.
Your
right,
time is up.
My view is that, is there a point of order, Mr. Speaker?
Your time is up.
Oh, I'm rushing up. Okay, let me finalize, Mr. Speaker, by saying that I would want to plead with my colleagues, because this is an impeachment process, that we support the committee way so that we actually can stand firmly with our standing order number 76, which give the accused person the right to be heard. And finally, also on standing order number 75, that at least will make sense of the 10 days that we are given to investigate. So, okay, Mr. Speaker, I thank you, and I hope that we will go the committee way.
Senator Mwenyehaji.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, yangu atakuwa mafupi sana. Mheshimiwa Spika, tumefanya baadhi ya impeachment kutumia kamati na nyingine tukafanya kupitia bunge zima la Senate. Mheshimiwa Spika, bunge zima la Senate inatoa uwazi zaidi kuliko kujifungia katika kamati. Mheshimiwa Spika, tumeona hapa kwa ilipokuwa impeachment ya Taita Taveta, kamati ilikuja ikatoa uamuzi wake, impeachment ya Kirinyaga vile vile. Kwa hivyo tumeona Mheshimiwa Spika kwamba haina uwazi kamati ya impeachment. Kwa hivyo tumependekeza kwamba, mimi binafsi napendekeza kwa impeachment hii ifanywe kupitia bunge lote la Senate, kwa sababu hapa tutaonekana wazi, kila mtu, makosa yatasomwa paruanja, utetezi utafanywa pale, na kinyume na wale wanaosema kwamba gavana huo hapewi nafasi nzuri ya kujitetea. Magavana wote ambao nimeona wamekuja hapa Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba unilinde na jirani yangu Amos wako.
Senator wako consult in low tones.
We normally allow him to.
Senator wako consult in low tones.
Mheshimiwa Spika, tuampa heshima yote Mheshimiwa Amos wako.
What's your point of order, Senator?
Akizungumza. Lakini
There's a
hatupi
point of
nafasi.
order. Okay.
No. My point of order, Mr. Speaker, or is it point of information, is to inform Senator Faki.
So
my point of information, Mr. Speaker.
You asked for a point of order, okay.
Yes, my point of information to Senator Waki is that the committee procedure also is open to the public and not just the plenary. Both processes are open to the public.
Okay, proceed.
Mheshimiwa Spika, zote ziko wazi kwa wananchi, lakini ikiwa tumekaa bungeni, maelezo yale yatakuwa yanapelekwa moja kwa moja na runinga mpaka Wajia, ambapo watu wa Wajia, Mheshimiwa Spika, hawataweza kuja Nairobi kuja kusikiza kesi ambayo iko dhidi ya gavana wao. Mheshimiwa Spika, Kiingereza tunasema justice must not only be done but seen to be done. Yani haki isitendeke peke yake, lakini ionekane kwamba imetendeka. Na kwa hii ya magavana, Mheshimiwa Spika, haki itatendeka wakati bunge lote la Seneti litakapokaa chini kuchunguza yale madai ambayo yameletwa mbele ya bunge hili kuhusiana na gavana yoyote yule ambaye atakuwa yuko. Mheshimiwa Spika, kumalizia ni kwamba kanuni zetu zinafaa zibadilishwe wakati tunapoangalia kwa gavana akipatikana na hatia anatakana aje kujitetea, lakini ikiwa ameonekana kwamba madai hayakuthibitishwa, bunge halitapata tena fursa ya kujadili ripoti hili. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, itakuwa imekuwa kwamba bunge ni kama conveyor belt. Tumekuja, tumesomewa mashtaka, tumesema yende kwa kamati, baada ya hapo hatuna jukumu lolote jingine la kufanya isipokuwa ni kunyamaza. Kinyume na wakati tutakapokaa hapa kama maseneta wote wa Jamhuri ya Kenya kuchunguza na kuhakikisha kwamba haki inatendeka. Mheshimiwa Spika, kumalizia ni kwa mimi naunga mkono bunge zima la Seneti kuchunguza swala hili la Wajia. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Abdullahi Ibrahim, I'm getting to the end because we must move with time. Senator Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised with members here. Mr. Speaker, there are people who want to be angels here, and nobody's an angel. We are all human beings. We all make mistakes. There's no way you can say that when things are taken to committee, it will be done in a better way. It will be done in a proper way. I believe that when it is done in the plenary, when all members are sitting, there are no special senators more than others, Mr. Speaker. All senators have been brought here by their respective counties, by others who are appointed by their parties, and all are equal. That's why I don't agree with what the members are saying, that we should go to plenary. When we have gone to plenary, when we have gone to, we should go to committee. That when we have gone to committee, we have seen what happens. I don't want to put aspersions on anybody here, but no governor who has been taken to committee has ever been impeached. Can I be told why? But the ones who have brought to the plenary have all gone home. There is a reason for that. If Senate is sincere, if Senate wants Kenyans to believe them, let this thing be done in the plenary here, when everybody can see it, when you can hear, all of us can hear what the county assembly is alleging, when we can all hear what the governor, how he's defending himself, in that way, then we will know. And everybody, every committee member will hear. Most members here do not attend committees, Mr. Speaker. They don't attend. We are just brought what the committee decided, and we are told this is the way it is, and that's the end of the story. And that is not fair, and that is not right. If people here are thinking about the people of Wajir, whether the governor survives or not, as the senator of Wajir, I plead with this House to allow plenary. And if we are colleagues really, I think that the senators of the counties concerned should be put into consideration. Somebody was talking of politics here. Everything in Kenya is politics. That's why we are here. What is wrong with politics? You have been elected because you are a politician. So there's no shame in being in people talk about there's no politics here. The people of the county assembly has voted 37 to 10, Mr. Speaker. 37 to 10. If anybody has any concerns, if anybody is serious, if members are want really to know what's happening in Wajir, let's allow the plenary so that the county assembly will say what they have to say. As the senator of Wajir, I will say what I have to say. But if we always want to hide behind committees, that will not be fair. That will not be good for the people of Wajir. The people of Wajir might even cast the Senate, Mr. Speaker, because this is not the right way to go. I am hearing a lot of stories. A lot of stories are going on, Mr. Speaker. So let's not shame this Senate, as Senator Wetangula has said. Let it be open. Let members decide. Let them use their concerns. Let them hear what people are being told. Committee hearings are open, yes, but how many people attend committee hearings? Why should some members on here have decided that the leadership do not have the right to appoint committee members? If the motion was brought without committee, people were saying this is very good. There's nothing very good about it. There is nothing good about it. What is this that is being hidden? Why didn't the names be brought here? I don't agree with that, whatever the SBCs agreed on, Chair, Mr. Speaker. I think that was wrong. And next time, when the names are brought, what will happen? What will happen? It has to come to the House again, and the House has to decide. Otherwise, it is something which is done in Kishoro, and that will not be good for this House. I plead with all senators to please support the plenary. Thank you.
Finally, Senator Faria, then I'll call the leader to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. From the onset, I support plenary because in the life of this House, there were we have so far carried out 4 impeachments, Mr. Speaker. Of those 4 impeachments, 2 happened through plenary and another 2 happened through committee. The 2 that happened through committee, there is an allegation that the committee members have been compromised and therefore those people were acquitted. There is allegation. And therefore, people of Wajir have spoken through their representative. 37 voted in favor of removal of the governor. If you take percentage of that, that is 76% of the number of MCAs in that county. Mr. Speaker, that is not, and there is no dispute that that is what happened. Mr. Speaker, and then there is a lot of rumors out there that today, I heard last night that today we'll end up with committee and the governor is already acquitted. In Wajir, people are already celebrating. So I don't know whether this House wants to confirm that assertion or make an independent decision, Mr. Speaker. The other issue is, like Senator Amos Wako has said, if the decision of the committee was to be subjected, if they acquit the governor, it was to be subjected to the whole House process. That would have been much more fairer process. But as long as there are very few people who will make that decision, and as long as there is an assertion out there that if it goes through committee, the governor is acquitted, and the committee now comes up with a verdict that the governor is acquitted, you tell me what will the people of Wajir think about that process,
You know, you are anticipating the results, which is a decision has not even been made. So please just don't anticipate the outcome.
Mr. Speaker, it is already anticipated in Wajir. I'm just confirming what they have said. Last night, people have called me saying that the governor's people are celebrating because Senate will end up with a committee and that committee will acquit the governor. I am just reporting verbatim what I have heard from my people, Mr. Speaker. And if that assertion is confirmed by this House, this will be a big shame to this House, Mr. Speaker. There is also a lot of allegation that money has already changed hands. Mr. Speaker, let us not confirm that. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
Senator Cherargei, 3 minutes, so that...
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the fact that Senator Faria, she is so passionate about these issues, and also if she comes from that region, although she is also a member of delegation of Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, two things that I would want to say is that in as much as the decision will lie with us in plenary, whether we go the plenary or the committee way, but the point we need to communicate to the country, and I want to plead with my colleagues, especially led by our majority leader and my sister. Let us also tell Kenyans that Parliament works through either plenary or committee. And of course, most of us there are so many aspersions that are being casted outside there. There are, even when you go, even in the streets, for us who are politicians, many things are said daily, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate the fact that the genius of the majority side bringing without names, and whether we agree, and I think it is the decision of individual senators how they will vote. And that is why it was not even, it is very important not want to preempt any vote that they want to vote in either side. But Mr. Speaker, we must ask Kenyans, and they should know, because I have an obligation as chairman emeritus of JLAC to inform the country that the Parliament operates either through committee, and we have had committee. I remember we formed a committee that was investigating mess, and no one raised a query about. We have select committees. We have so many committees that we have formed that are based on us as the senators, Mr. Speaker. But if it comes to plenary, Mr. Speaker, we know that many governors have come here through the plenary. There is a lot that needs to be done, but I want to challenge the senators, even if we go the plenary way, Mr. Speaker, then the senators must be ready to sit through and sift through. If we go through the committee, Mr. Speaker, is that they will be, and there is a perception that even when Governor Waiguru's impeachment was ongoing, it was live on television, it was live on media platforms. So let us assure the people of Wajir, my interest, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, my interest is to assure the people of Wajir, Kenyans, the governor who is facing impeachment, that they will receive justice, fairness, and equity in either process that this House will adopt, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, I call upon the mover to reply.
Speaker, sir, I beg to reply. Speaker, in a matter like this, you, as a person who moves a motion, you try to remain balanced and stay in the place where members are left to make the decision, Speaker, as to whether we are going to support this motion or not. Speaker, I know the process is still yet to be finished, because even if the members decide it is a committee, Mr. Speaker, today, it will still be subjected to provision of names. And so I want the members to stay in tune, so that if the members then decide it's not the committee, Speaker, then the process stops right there. So I just want us to ask the members to consciously make the decision, consciously. Conscious because, Mr. Speaker, there's so many people who accuse members of parliament of various things, as though the conscience of a member of parliament does not matter here. Mr. Speaker, I do believe that when the people put their vote to elect senators to come to this House, or when the parties nominated senators to come to this House, they did so knowing what quality of people come to this House. And so, Speaker, casting aspersions and so on will not help. I believe that members in this House are credible. They will make their decisions based on their conscience, and we're going to make a decision, Speaker. I'm glad, Mr. Speaker, that you've steered people clear of the merits or demerits of the case. You have made it very clear that the decision here, which should not take long, is only deciding whether we actually support the process of committee or not. And this is the moment to vote. Mr. Speaker, I'll reply. Thank you.
Okay, honorable senators, we will proceed to vote, and I now ask that the division bell be rung for 5 minutes. Okay, 30 seconds. Can you take your seats, the whips? Make sure. One more minute for those who are outside to come in, please. One more minute. Take your seats, please. Take your seats. 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 Two minutes. Okay, whips. Okay, take your seats. Huh? Leader of majority. Leader of majority. Okay. Okay. Take your seats. Take your seats. Why do you make your lives very difficult by starting to walk when I stand? Because then it means you will freeze. I now put the question, which is that whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Government Act 2012 on Tuesday, 27th April 2021, the Wajir County Assembly approved a motion for the removal from office by the impeachment of the Honorable Mohammed Abdi Mohamud, Governor of Wajir County. And further, whereas by letter reference number SPK/WCA/Senate/4 2021-1, dated Wednesday, 28 April 2021, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Thursday, 29 April 2021, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Wajir informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of proceedings of the Assembly. And whereas, pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order 75(1)(b) of the Senate by resolution may appoint a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter. Now, therefore, pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Governments Act 2012 and Standing Order 75(1)(b)(1), the Senate resolves to proceed on this matter by way of establishment of a special committee to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Mohammed Abdi Mohamud, the Governor of Wajir County. This matter concerns counties and therefore it will be by delegation. Let's get to the tillers. Oh, Senator Orengo. Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, this is just in relation to the voting that is about to take place. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with the Chapter 6 of the Constitution, Article 73, I want to declare an interest, a conflicting interest. Although the standing orders in the Constitution do not quite apply, but at least Article 73 would assist me on this matter. I've happened to have acted against this governor that is to be impeached in a petition before the Supreme Court. And there for that matter, for that reason, at the time when my name will be called upon, I will abstain on the basis of having acted against the governor at the Supreme Court.
Okay, let's have the tellers. Tellers for no is Senator Faria and Kwamboka, yes. Okay. We can start the voting. I hope the other people are online, huh? Yeah, we'll give.
Senator Adan Dulo Fatuma, Isiolo County.
Those who are virtual, we must see you. Yes, okay, we've seen you. Yes, we've seen you.
Senator Ali Abdullahi Ibrahim.
Okay, we've seen you. Yes, yeah. It's okay, we have heard you.
Senator Ali Abdullahi Ibrahim, Wajir County.
I vote no.
Senator Boy Isa Juma, Kwale County.
I vote yes.
Senator Cherarke Samson, Kiprotich, Nadin County.
Senator Cherarke. Aye. Senator Cherargei, you have to make a decision.
Let us alert the speaker that Zoom is not working.
But we can hear you. How are you talking to us?
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Cheriot Aaron Kipkiroi, Kericho County.
Is it in the system? Okay, maybe we'll come back.
Senator Haji Abdul Kadir Mohammed, Garissa County.
I vote no.
Senator Hargura Godana, Marsabit County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote no.
Senator Imana Malakai Charles, Turkana County.
I'm told it's online. Professor Ekal. Okay, we'll come back.
Senator Mudama Agnes Kavindu, Machakos County.
With the mic. I vote yes.
Senator Kajuang Moses Otieno, Homa Bay County.
No, he's here. He's here. I saw him.
Mr. Speaker,
we have started now.
Can I vote uninterrupted?
Vote.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes for the people of Wajir.
Senator Kamar Margaret, Wasingishu County.
I vote no.
Senator Kangata Irungu, Muranga County.
Is he online?
Senator Kaniri George, Vihiga County. Senator Kibiru Charles Robinson, Kirinyaga County.
No, I'm somewhere else in Kenya.
What?
You know, I'm not just a man from yet.
No, order. Mute him. Senator Kibiru. Order. Why don't you meet? What's your point of order? What's your point of order, Senator?
Mr. Speaker, the Zoom system is not different from the chambers in terms of decorum and the effect and the impact it has on the integrity of this House. Those who are managing the system from this side, Mr. Speaker, should be able to mute all people who are in Zoom until they vote. Otherwise, we risk the danger of the senators there saying things that were not supposed to go public, Mr. Speaker. The Senator of Nyeri and the Senator of Baringo are lucky they have said something which is neither here nor there. But, Mr. Speaker, imagine if it was worse than that.
Yeah. Okay, let's proceed.
Senator Kibiru Charles, Kirinyaga County.
Who is listening to us?
Senator, can you vote?
Can you send SMS?
No, point of order. Point of order, Madam Speaker.
We are voting. Senator Kibiru, can you vote?
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order. Point of order. Point of order.
Okay. Let's proceed.
Where are you, Chilo Yako?
Senator Kihika Susan, Nakuru County.
You have a knock?
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Kimani Wamatangi, Kiambu County. Senator Kindiki Kidure, Tharaka-Nithi County. Senator Kirinyaga Ephraim.
He's there.
Order.
Senator Kindiki is there.
Relax. I vote yes.
Senator Kirinyaga Ephraim, Nyeri County.
Mr. Speaker, we are not hearing from online, from the Zoom.
Mr. Speaker, the process should stop until we are heard.
You have a problem with your Zooms.
Those who can be heard as they sort out the system. Yeah, we'll come back to all of you who are on Zoom.
Senator Lelegwe Litumbesi, Samburu County.
I vote yes.
Senator Linturi Franklin Midika, Meru County.
I vote yes.
Senator Loitip Anwar, Lamu County.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I vote yes.
Senator Mazayo Stewart, Kilifi County.
I vote yes.
Senator Mahmoud Mohamed Maalim, Mandera County.
I vote no.
Senator Malala Cleophas Wakungu, Kakamega County.
Just ANC. On behalf of ANC, I vote yes.
Senator Mbito Michael Malinga, Trans Nzoia County.
We can't hear you.
What is yes and what is no?
Yes, okay, yes is for the committee.
Yes is for the committee, no is for no committee.
Yeah.
I will vote no.
Okay.
Senator Mbogo George Ochilo Ayako, Migori County.
Is it yes? I am voting for the committee.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, voting for the committee
It's yes. Yes, it's yes.
Yeah, I am voting for the committee.
Okay, yes. It's yes. Let's continue.
Senator Mogeni Eric Okongo, Nyamira County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote no.
Senator Moi Gideon, Baringo County.
I vote no. I vote for plenary.
Senator Mpayei Philip, Kajiado County.
I serve of Kajiado County.
No. Wait, no. Order. 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 Order, senators. The senator himself is here.
Yes.
The senator is here.
I vote yes.
Senator Murkomen Kipchumba, Elgeyo Marakwet County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr., Makueni County.
I vote yes.
Senator Mwangi Paul Gidiomi, Nyandarua County.
I vote yes.
Senator Mwaruma Jones Mwashushe, Taita Taveta County.
I vote yes.
Senator Mwinyahaji Mohamed Faki, Mombasa County.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I vote no.
Senator Nderitu John Kinywa, Laikipia County.
I vote yes.
Senator Ndwiga Peter Njeru, Embu County. Senator Olekina Ledama, Narok County.
Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Ongeri Samson, Kisii County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Orengo James, Siaya County.
Mr. Speaker, I abstain.
Senator Outa Frederick Otieno, Kisumu County.
Yes.
You should stand when you are voting, please. You know, it's,
Yes.
okay.
Senator Pogisho Samuel Lesuron, West Pokot County.
Speaker, I'm the mover.
So you must vote.
I vote yes.
Senator Sakaja Johnson Adha, Nairobi County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Wako Siswila Amos, Busia County.
I vote yes.
Senator Wambua Enoch, Kitui County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote no.
Senator Wario Golich, Juma, Tana River County.
Yes.
Senator Wetangula Moses Masika, Bungoma County.
I can use any. Yes, I vote no.
Okay, I'm repeating those who did not respond just to clear any doubts.
Senator Cheriot Aaron Kipkirui, Kericho County.
I vote yes.
Senator Imana Malachi Charles, Turkana County.
I vote yes.
Senator Kangata Irungu, Muranga County. Senator Ghaniri George, Vihiga County. Senator Kibiru Charles, Kirinyaga County.
I vote capital N no.
Senator Kimani Wamatangi, Kiambu County. Senator Kirinyaga Ephraim Mwangi, Nyeri County.
I vote for plenary, so I vote no.
Senator Langat Christopher Andrew, Bomet County.
Unmute your mic. Unmute.
I vote yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Okay.
I vote yes.
Senator Ndwiga Peter Njeru, Embu County.
Wamenisikia kweli?
Okay, order. Take your seats. Okay, honorable senators, these are the results of the vote. Abstentions, 1. Nays, 14. Ayes, 28. The ayes have it. So, honorable senators, the motion having been carried and considering the timelines for the impeachment process, the House shall shortly proceed to consider further motion with proposed names of senators to serve in the special committee. In this regard, and for convenience of the House, I will forthwith suspend the sitting for 30 minutes to allow preparation and circulation of a supplementary order paper. I thank you. Okay, order, senators. Order paper. Let me welcome you back. I hope you have now consulted. And next order.
Order number 2, notices of motion.
Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act 2012, on Tuesday, 27th April 2021, the Wajir County Assembly approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Mohammed Abdi Mohamud, Governor of Wajir County. And whereas pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Governments Act 2012 and Standing Order 75(1)(b) of the Senate by resolution may appoint a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter. Further, whereas by a resolution made on Thursday, 6 May 2021 afternoon sitting, the Senate resolved to proceed on this matter by way of a special committee pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Governments Act 2012 and Standing Order number 75(1)(b)(1). Now, therefore, pursuant to Standing Order 189, the Senate resolves to appoint a special committee comprising the following senators. 1, Senator Sakaja Johnson, CBS MP. 2, Senator Mwangi Githiomi MP. 3, Senator Christine Zawadi Gona MP. 4, Senator Susan Kihika MP. 5, Senator Mithika Linturi MP. 6, Senator Engineer Hargura Godana MP. 7, Senator Okongo Mogeni, Senior Counsel MP. 8, Senator Frederick Outa MP. 9, Senator Agnes Mudhama MP. 10, Senator Petronila Were MP. And 11, Senator Issa Juma Boy MP. To investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Governor of Wajir County and to report to the Senate within 10 days of its appointment, pursuant to Standing Order 752, on whether it finds the particulars of the allegations to have been substantiated. Thank you, Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 3, motion, appointment of senators to serve in the special committee to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Mohammed Abdi Mohamud, the Governor of Wajir County.
Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act 2012, on Tuesday, 27th April 2021, the Wajir County Assembly approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Mohammed Abdi Mohamud, Governor of Wajir County. And whereas pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Governments Act 2012 and Standing Order 751(b) of the Senate by resolution may appoint a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter. Further, whereas by resolution made on Thursday, 6th of May, 2021 afternoon sitting, the Senate resolved to proceed on this matter by way of a special committee pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Governments Act 2012 and Standing Order 751(b)(1). Now, therefore, pursuant to Standing Order 189, the Senate resolves to appoint a special committee comprising the following senators. 1, Senator Sakaja Johnson, CBS MP. Senator Mwangi Githiomi MP. Senator Christine Zawadi Gona MP. Senator Susan Kihika MP. Senator Mithika Linturi MP. Senator Engineer Hargura Godana MP. Senator Okongo Mogeni, Senior Counsel MP. Senator Frederick Outa MP. Senator Agnes Mudhama MP. Senator Petronila Were MP, and Senator Issa Juma Boy MP, to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Governor of Wajir County and to report to the Senate within 10 days of its appointment pursuant to Standing Order 75-2 on whether it finds the particulars of the allegations to have been substantiated. Mr. Speaker, this is a continuation of where we were in the afternoon. Mr. Speaker, the names are there. We have tried, Mr. Speaker, to balance parties and regions and make sure, Mr. Speaker, that this is a very serious committee, a committee of people of conscience and people, some of them, Mr. Speaker, who, most of them, who have not been on this kind of committees before, Mr. Speaker, so that, Mr. Speaker, the names are straightforward. I would like to commend these names to the Senate, Mr. Speaker, and I'm going, therefore, to move and ask the Deputy Leader of Minority to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to support and second the Majority Leader on the names provided to the Senate. Mr. Speaker, the senators who have been named here are senators who are quite capable, starting with Sakaja all the way down. All these members who are committee members to overlook on this process of investigating the governor of Wajir are quite capable. I want to single out persons like Mithika Linturi, who is basically doing his master's on the impeachment of governors. And I believe his knowledge up to now will go a long way to help this committee. We also note that we have a senior counsel here in the name of Okongo Mogeni. I think this is quite a renowned lawyer, and therefore we expect that they will come up with a proper finding. The basic approach to the whole thing, the whole committee, is that we want to establish ourselves as people who are going to be fair as a house to ensure that proper justice is not only done, but manifestly seen to be done. I second. Thank you.
Honorable Senators, I now propose the question, which is that whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Government Act 2012, on Tuesday, 27th April 2021, the Wajir County Assembly approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Mohammed Abdi Mohamud, Governor of Wajir. And whereas pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Governments Act 2012 and Standing Order of 75(1)(b) of the Senate by resolution may appoint a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter. Further, whereas by a resolution made on Thursday 6th May 2021 afternoon sitting, the Senate resolved to proceed on this matter by way of a special committee pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order 75(1)(b)(1). Now, therefore, pursuant to Standing Order number 189, the Senate resolves to appoint a special committee comprising the following senators. 1, Senator Sakaja Johnson, CBS MP. 2, Senator Mwangi Kithiomi MP. 3, Senator Christine Zawadi Gona MP. 4, Senator Susan Kihika MP. 5, Senator Mithiki Linturi MP. 6, Senator Engineer Harugura Godana MP. 7, Senator Okongo Mogeni, Senior Counsel MP. 8, Senator Frederick Outa MP. 9, Senator Agnes Mudama MP. 10, Senator Petronila Were MP. And 11, Senator Issa Juma Boy MP, to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the governor of Wajir County and to report to the Senate within 10 days of the appointment pursuant to Standing Order 75-2 on whether it finds the particulars of the allegations to have been substantiated. I put the question, which is that whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Government Act 2012, on Tuesday, 27th April 2021, the Wajir County Assembly approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Mohammed Abdi Mohamud, Governor of Wajir County. And whereas pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Government Act 2020 and Standing Order 75(1)(b) of the Senate by resolution may appoint a special committee comprising 11 of its members to investigate the matter. Further, whereas by a resolution made on Tuesday, 6 May 2021 afternoon sitting, the Senate resolved to proceed on this matter by way of a special committee pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order 75(1)(b)(1). Now, therefore, pursuant to Standing Order number 189, the Senate resolves to appoint a special committee comprising the following senators: 1, Senator Sakaja Johnson, CBS MP; 2, Senator Mwangi Kithiomi MP; 3, Senator Christine Zawadi Gona MP; 4, Senator Susan Kihika MP; 5, Senator Mithika Linduri MP; 6, Senator Engineer Hargura Godana MP; 7, Senator Okongo Mogeni, Senior Counsel MP; 8, Senator Frederick Outa MP; 9, Senator Agnes Mudama MP; 10, Senator Petronila Were MP; 11, Senator Isa Juma Boy MP, to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Governor of Wajir County and to report to the Senate within 10 days of his appointment pursuant to Standing Order 75-2 on whether it finds the particulars of the allegations to have been substantiated. As many are, yeah, it's a voice vote. As many are of that opinion, say aye. As many are of a contrary view, say nay. The ayes have it. Okay, honorable senators, the special committee having been established, I urge the committee to move with speed as the timeline is already running. I also urge the special committee to table its report within the stipulated period of 10 days. Okay, next order.
Order number 4, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020, second reading, resumption of debate.
Yeah, Senator Orengo. Yeah, Senator. Yeah.
I move that this order be...
Order, senators. There's something important being... Order, senators. Take your seats.
I move that this order be deferred and adjourned to the next sitting of the House. Debate on the Constitutional Amendment Kenya Bill 2021. I'm saying this because many people did not anticipate that we'll come back to this business. And there's already 6. So I move, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mtula Jr.
Mr. Speaker, in fact, Mr. Speaker, we had agreed that at 12:30 we would adjourn the debate on this bill to next week so that we can have an opportunity. It's on record. So that, Mr. Speaker, those who have not, I'm not sure whether Senator Amos' work was completed. All the people who were on the list at 12:30, Mr. Speaker, have left. But I don't.
Let him finish.
And most of the people who are here have spoken anyway.
Yeah.
Unless Senator Sakaja wants to raise a point of order on something. So, Mr. Speaker, I think it's in good order that you defer this debate to next Tuesday. Thank you.
Okay, order, senators. No, I want to communicate. Senator Senator Murkomen, are you through? I now propose the question, which is that the debate be now adjourned. I put the question that the debate be now adjourned. As a matter of that opinion, say aye. Aye. As a matter of a contrary view, say nay. The ayes have it. Okay, honorable senators, there being no other business, the House is therefore stands adjourned until 11th May 2021, 10 a.m.